Why, hello chat. I have got a fair bit to do today. I have got an idea for a thumbnail. So for some context, I've been running streams on YouTube side without a thumbnail for the past couple of streams. And I kind of want to fix that. Like, I do just want to have, you know, something halfway decent people can look at. So I'm going to be trying to make that today, but in the style of like, oh yeah, Minecraft character playing around with Blender building blocks. So I do not know if I should jump straight into it or if I should draw out the scene first. I might do a little bit of drawing first. Let me just quickly sort myself out here. Just like me and not be sorted. My desk is an absolute mess. I got like a whole bunch of packages today and I still have some of the stuff on my desk. I have a Pokemon game on here now and some batteries. I was trying to get a old Game Boy Advance working so I could play the game and just check it, but no such luck unfortunately. As is always with me, I tend to have a bit of problems when it comes to old electronics lying around. Alright, oh, almost forgot to take this thing off. So, just open up Karita. Just give me one moment, chat. Put that up. And hopefully it of course it loads off over on the other screen. Just quickly create one of these and just chuck that on the screen. Now I need to remember not to use Blender shortcuts with this because if you hold shift and middle mouse button it actually rotates the entire canvas for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. Does control color picks. So for the background, I'm just going to quickly do that. Just actually make that a smidge darker. There we go, that's a bit better. Alright, so what I want to do for this thing, I obviously want to have like the Minecraft character probably like back facing the camera, I believe. Just one of these, and I can hear Ellie just wandering around outside. So like, the idea is maybe there's like a couple different ways I could go about doing this, right, chat? So I could have the character standing from like the ankles up, like saying holding her arms up. Also, I apologize for my garbage drawing. I'm a 3D artist, not a traditional artist. And then having like your cube and whatnot just floating in the air. So you have like your cube, your circle. Probably even have the character maybe holding the Suzanne head, like in here. Maybe like a cone. Just like have them floating around and then obviously have your background. I have a few different ways to do the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like the Minecraft world as a base and then have the character standing in it with the objects floating about. So I'm just curious about location because I have a Minecraft world, like a current survival one. And there's like a few different locations I could make the background for this. I just need to... I also have access to, if anyone knows, the CSMP original files, which could also be a fun little time. Like I know where my own house is and all that. So I could use that as a possibility. So I'll just... Is this around the right way? Right. God, the cursor is on this is so small I can barely even see it. So I shall see what I can do. And yes, this does happen to be my desktop. I am going to quickly switch this to Minecraft so Twitch doesn't get too up. Actually, yeah, just switch this quickly to Minecraft so then Twitch doesn't get too annoyed with me. Just do that. Like, I know technically what I'm doing is actually Blender work, but I think Twitch gets particularly upset if I don't categorize this correctly. Like, I know YouTube doesn't care nearly as much, but Twitch does get a bit upset. And unfortunately, I don't have a mod online at the moment that can just do it automatically for me, so I just do it by hand. I need to make sure when I open this to not accidentally open up the April Fool's snapshot, because that would be the last thing I was playing on here. Alright, let me just quickly switch to this, and there we go. And yes, I've played the launcher idle game for slightly too long. Alright, sometime today would be nice, please, computer. I would like to actually be able to see where I'm going to be doing my thumbnail at. Alright, I'm just going to quickly... Where's my video settings? Full screen. There we go. Oh, OBS wasn't a fan of that. Oh, I hope I didn't break everything. Okay, as it turns out, okay, what did I do? What did I do? Okay, apparently, OBS really doesn't like it when I full screen Minecraft. Who would have guessed? I certainly didn't. I didn't even think to check before the stream. So I'm going to have to do this again to fix up whatever crap they just decided to break. Alright, we're going to not do full screen. This is going to probably break a second time. Okay, not nearly as violently, thank God. However, Discord has decided to go on the middle screen. Why? Go away, Discord. You are not the main character here. Cease. Now I have to resort all my perfectly bloody sorted programs and... what a pest, honestly. Okay, so, note for future reference. If the game decides to not full screen, maybe just take as a fact that it doesn't want to full screen. Average cyclonic moment. And I believe it's this one. Where did I leave off last time? Oh, just in here. Okay. Oh, fair warning chat, Herobrine is here. It's just, like, he's just gonna show up randomly. This does have the From the Fog mod. At least from the 1.20 edition. And... okay, that isn't broken. I thought it was for a second there. I remembered that I didn't actually put any maps in those four corners yet, because I hadn't gone around to getting that far. Alright, so where do I want to... like, there's a few different locations I could do. Like, I could do on top of here. I'm just going to quickly mute that. My apologies. There we go. So we have up here, which I can, like, have the character stand here. The only issue is that the tree is kind of in the way. Otherwise, I can go down onto the ground. That's probably, again, maybe just a bit too close. So maybe I want, like, an area where it's vaguely empty. I mean, there's that over there, but I don't think that's going to be all too helpful. What about over here? Just, like, have this... Why was it... Okay. Not going to ask questions. It's like a vaguely flat area, maybe? Like, I can take out the trees over here and maybe have, like, the house as a backdrop, perhaps. Just have, like... So if I F5... So just, like, have the character standing, like, around here or something. Just, like, in a generally flat location. And then have, like, the house in the back? Possibly? There's, like, there's another location I could go to. And it is... Is this the map that leads to it? No, it is not. It's, like... It's really far out that way. Like, it's stupidly far out. And I don't really want to TP around because this is still technically a survival world. Possibly get that to work. Otherwise, I could do something inside the house. Okay, what's with this wedding ass music? Now's... Like, is now really the time for this? Like, like, all these would be too tight of an angle, I think, with the limited camera that Blender provides me. I'd say limited, it's not really all that limited, but... Like, I'd need to have at least a relatively realistic focal length. I can do downstairs. So another possibility is I could probably do like... would this would be too busy, I think. It's like if I went here, maybe it might not be. The only problem is like the lighting from the lanterns and the magma might make the shot look too busy. So like, the only other thing too is I could actually just delete this middle section and then all the chests around here and have the center pegs be this. Oh, I forgot to close that up. Alright, let's just quickly check, because I do have a couple of saves for this. I do have a couple of saves that I've done in the past for different projects related to this. Like, I've already, like, gone through Mineways and all that and pulled the chunk data from the save file. Oh, and I was doing a ball rig prior to the stream, which, if we have the time, I might get to. So, just nuke everything off that. And why is it sun? It's been raining all day, and only now does it decide to be sunny in the middle of the stream. Like, that's just kind of rude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's absolutely pouring with rain earlier. So, import, and I believe this is a wave font. Minecraft 3D models. I believe. Should I do... Okay, so the JMC world has the pristine one that I pulled. Alright, does it sort by... Okay, it does sort by modified date. So, logically, I believe this one is the latest one? Yeah. That's quite small though. Looks like I might have to pull another set of data from... Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to pull another version of this. So I might do... Which one do I want to use this time? Maybe JMC for this project. Everything's an absolute mess because that Minecraft just decided to break everything. Infinitely hilarious, but also just vaguely obnoxious. Load that up. Alright. There we go. So I need to make this relatively large. I think there's a reasonable chance I'm not going to use the underground area because I feel like they'd be too busy. So maybe above ground. So if I show chunks. Alright, so the important thing to remember is that not everything that I pick up is going to be used in this. So if I select via chunks. So obviously I want to keep the house as a backdrop. Maybe start from one chunk behind the house. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't think it would require any more than that. In fact, I'd even say that going that far is pushing it a bit. And then I want the floor to be 32 maybe? Because I know at a certain point, like if I set this to like 54, it's going to start cutting off things here. I'm gonna, for my sake, just set the ceiling to probably like about 120. And then keep pushing that down until I can no longer see any black, specifically on that cave there. Because I know there's a huge underwater section that won't show the fact that it's been cut off. At least not on the software. So possibly sufficient. Alright, let's... So export textures, export alpha channel and separate files, don't really need that. Export normal and specular, export clouds. I don't need that because I'm already using MC Prep. Select box export, render unknown blocks, render world sides and bottom. I don't need that. Biomes, entities, I don't need entities. Convert all ore blocks, so why would I do that? Well, I suppose in this case it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be using ore blocks here. Create separate object for each material, include adjacent materials, create separate object for each chunk. That is going to absolutely destroy my computer if I do that. Allow block model randomization, don't need that. Add double side faces for back face, optimize mesh. Okay, so if I export that, I'm going to create a new folder for... It would help if I could spell. And export to there. So hopefully it won't break my computer while I'm trying to export. There's a very real possibility it could happen. I did select the export destination. Oh, maybe I need... It's because it's an empty name, I'm dumb. One moment. Okay, now if I select export, there we go. Honestly, that exported a lot faster than I was giving it credit for. I thought for sure this was going to be a case of my computer crashes in a humorous manner and I have to figure out how I'm going to fix everything, but apparently not. Alright, let's load this up in Blender and see what the results are. Goodbye. Nope. I just want to import. And let's go back to Minecraft, and it's in the James C worlds now. Is this okay? That's the MTL. I want the OBJ for that. Okay. Ah, it's like all the way off in the distance. Why is that all the way in the distance? Where even are we? Sorry? I mean, like, that's all well and good, but my origin's there, and we're all the way out here now. Okay, so, like, if I zoom in all the way on this, like, you can't even tell that it's cut off, so I'm gonna call that a win. So, maybe have the camera set here, perhaps? Oh wait, of course, I don't have a camera anymore. And I want to add in a camera to the action folder. There's the camera. And then we want to... Actually, why have I got it like this when I can just use this? Now, time to... Okay, cool, I do still have this. So I want to... Prep world... Oh. Must be Cycles, Eevee, or Blender at 10. Ah, so MC Prep doesn't recognize this, like, this new version of Eevee as a version of Eevee, I guess. Right, let's do Dynamic Sky. Alright. So we have that working now. I probably do need to edit the world settings a smidge because the grass and glass look slightly off. Prep materials, use reflections. Animate textures, huh? Maybe some other time, perhaps? Use a mission. No, I don't want to use a mission here. Buy materials. I don't need to optimize. Actually, yeah, I will optimize the cycles. Only cycles and Eevee are supported, but like, we're already using cycles. Is this... It might be because I have an older version of MC Prep. Excuse me while I be completely professional and... Ooh, Minecraft rendering. Yep, it is Minecraft rendering. Also, thank you for reminding me to switch this back to art. Just quickly grab that. Yeah, I'm doing thumbnails for YouTube side. Among other things. Okay, there we go. Stream info has been fixed. And go back to that. Alright, time to update this garbage. I must have completely neglected to update this when I updated Blender to 4.2. Because otherwise this would have been perfectly fine. Alright, where is... Okay, save that. How you doing today, Foxy? Oh. Didn't mean to do that. And pop this down into... This is why folder organization is really important, because I know exactly where I need to put stuff. And add-ons. Those, and chuck this in the folder. So I'm going to save this. Clean projects. You know, it's a bad thing when I have an entire folder dedicated to Minecraft related stuff. And alright, so in case this breaks stuff, I have got to save that. Preferences, MC prep, uninstall. And then I need to quickly install from disk. I still yet to figure out how to fix the folder organization that I have in my save, like my bookmarks, because I still have no idea how to remove those. Add-ons, there we go. Now, hopefully, this should work. I'm doing okay. I tried to stream earlier, but it crashed out because the internet cut out, and also the game itself kept lagging. So I was just bummed out that I couldn't stream. Well, don't give up, Foxy. I'm sure you can make it eventually, but probably maybe fine-tuning some settings would do you some good. Okay, so I need to unhook that. Now, hopefully, when I click prepping, it should do what I want it to. Sync materials, active packs, materials blends file. Don't want to use emission, improve VI. Ah, yeah, so the... Actually, I wonder if specular would be better. And I'll keep it simple for now. Materials, animate, combine materials, okay. Oh, I need to select all these, duh. Oh, I'm so dumb sometimes. Okay, that's a lot cleaner. Create MC Sky. So that should, if I click on rendered mode. Okay, that looks good. And then, do I want to probably prep world? Okay, it seems reasonable enough. So what time do I want this to be? I just realized that that is in fact rotated wrong. Every time without fail. So, for context, this really annoys me too. For whatever reason, the rotation on the moon and sun is always wrong for me. So, when you're looking at, like, say from this direction, so the sun rises from behind the house and sets over in this direction, but for some reason it always ends up like this. So I need to locate this. Also that goes... Actually, let's just select hierarchy for all this. And then move that to a new collection. It's called Sky. Alright, so now I need to... Yeah, I'm going to try again tomorrow, but I don't know if it will work or not. If you need me to help you with anything, I can surely try. Like, it'd take basically nothing for me to do so. So, where is sun and moon control? Okay, so the Z Euler has to be 90, I believe. So if I... Okay, no, it needs to be minus 90. There we go. Yeah, I mostly would need help with the NVIDIA settings. If you know anything about that, I can certainly try. Like, what streaming software are you using? Because I just use basic OBS. Now I need to... OBS as well? Okay, fair enough. If I click on ray tracing. So here's the thing, right? The Minecraft sun is always just a bit too dim for my liking. Like, I get why MC Prep does this, but at the same time it's really annoying. So I'm gonna have to go into the settings later to fix it. Like, fun fact, the average strength of the sun, according to the Blender wiki, like the actual documentation, is a strength of 1000, but if you turn it on 1000, this sort of thing happens. So I'll just turn it back to 1 for now. Actually, I wonder if 100 would... It would just flashbang us. Okay, maybe 10? Still way too pale. What? Like, the foreground is fine, but the background's just dark as heck. Like, what? How does this happen? Okay, I'm just going to quickly switch this to cycles. Yeah, and same result. I don't know why it... Maybe 16. Okay, that works, but it probably needs to be a bit brighter than that. Alright, time to add in my character. So I believe what I can do here... There does need to be a bit of editing done for this, because I use like a specific setup for my character. Reload assets, and now we want player mobs. I think they changed this? I could have sworn there was less options last time I checked. Oh well. Okay. Let's just not stare at the sun. Come on, get. There we go. Now I need to select this hierarchy and just drag it out into the regular collection. Actually, I need to put in scene collection. There we go. So if I select these, I can then change this to... Reload this, and now I actually need to find the file, and it's just all the files of my character face planting and drinking. That's funny. There's my skins. Now, which one? Okay, it's this one. Yeah. I don't think editing the eyes this time around is really required here. And my character is scaled slightly down. Okay, grab all of these. No, I didn't want to grab those. I actually wanted to grab these ones. No, grab non-Z. Okay, I need to edit this camera angle just a smidge. Like, it needs to be closer to the ground, I think. try and apply the rule of thirds while I'm here too. And grab these. Just yeah. Do I think that is good though? Possibly not. Might want to stick with the character being in the center, or at least more so in the center. I'll leave it like that for a second. And give this a quick pose. I'm just gonna split this for a second. Just have the resulting camera angle. This screen, just get rid of those and that. And where's my camera? Import display and just set that to 1. Alright, guess you're ready to pose now. Let's grab this. Okay, yeah. I was concerned for a second there that I accidentally grabbed the wrong one, because there is a lot of little things you can grab on this model. Like, there's the IK constraints, but then there's stuff like this, which doesn't even really do anything. Actually, what is this even? It's the shin. But moving the shin does absolutely nothing. Maybe it does something, I haven't seen it yet, but as far as I know, it does nothing. So if I tilt that up a bit. Alright, that should be fine. So this would swing back. Take this. I actually want to rotate this around. Like, I want to spin it so that the arm is facing upright. So, So, is that 9 degrees? Yes, it is. Do I need to... Oh, I need to rotate it 180. So, 180. In the Z-axis. Here's the thing, right? So if I grab this and open it, the angle was just wrong. Like, I have no idea what's going on with this model specifically. But if I... Say if I open the hand here, right? So I open like that. If I rotate this so it's the traditional way that you'd expect it to be for somebody holding out something in front of them. If I try to rotate this, it only rotates in that direction. That's... If you hold out your arm, that is not the way that that rotates. Like, that's not the way that that bends. So why does it do that? Like, no joke, anyone who's watching right now, Like, rotate your arm so, like, your palm's facing outward and try to bend your arm to the side. That's not the way that joints work. It legitimately isn't. I don't know why it's like this. Like... Huh? Like, that works fine as intended. But... if you, like, rotate your arms out, the joint of your elbow is facing forward. So I don't know why it's designed like this. So, like, the first thing I think of here is, like, the wrist needs to be rotated. But I know for a fact if I rotate this, it's just gonna look twisted. Like, who... like, respectfully, Duck Cow, like, I respect the fact that you've gone through all the trouble of having the model set up, but the way that that elbow joint folds just isn't helpful. Maybe there's some other reason for it I don't know about, but it's certainly not helping me currently. Maybe if I rotate this... yeah, because, like, I can only constrain it. I'd probably have to break the constraints manually, no? Oh, this is, like, a really bad idea. Okay, so... I should be able to see the bones here. Oh, interesting. Some of them disappear when the bones are shown. Okay, here we go. So what constraint is breaking this? I assume it's this one. But if I delete this, there's a really good chance that I break everything. Alright, let's just start adding some objects into the scene. If it will let me. Oh wait, it's because I'm in pose mode, not object mode. So, scale this down. I'll scale it down by half, that way it actually fits into the scene. Scrape the Z. Alright, so we've got floating cube. That much we do have currently. Let's do icosphere. Again, just scale it 0.5. Okay, so I've noticed something, right? And this is probably really specific only to me. So I was playing the Croc Master last night, and I was just staring at the gems in the game, and I realized those things are literally just icospheres. Like, hang on, let me just... Croc piece 1. I forget that croc gems are legitimately a thing that exists. Okay, so I'm just going to open this in a new tab. So, literally, they're the same thing, except the gems in Croc happen to have one less layer of geometry on them. But that's it, that's literally just an icosphere. In fact, I might very well make that so it is basically just the croc gem. And I'm sorry, where is my menu? Which button opens this again? Ah, F9. I always forget. And I don't know why that just decided to bring back the weird ass thing. Anyway. Actually I'll just keep it at 2.5. Okay, go off I guess. Okay, I just realized, why is this not showing up in the... Hello? Where is this? For some reason, this thing has vanished off the face of the earth. Legitimately, it's in there on the scene, but the second I try to look for it here, it's just gone. Like, how did I manage this? Another day, another way for me to just break things, huh? Alright, let's just re-add it then, I guess. Because it wasn't hidden. That much I do know. And this icosphere. Alright, so that works. Let's add in probably a torus, but make it like half of what it is currently, so 24 and 6 respectively. Because it does not need to be that dense for a thumbnail. Actually, that's kind of a cool effect, but that's not what I'm looking for. Rotate that. The only issue is that with the objects floating in the air, it doesn't provide like a considerable amount of depth. Like if I lowered these more to the ground, it would show shadows perhaps. Which might be in my best interest to do. Okay. That. Wonder if I should just have like Suzanne sitting on top of Cyclonic's head. I think that would be kind of amusing, but at the same time there'd be no point. Like they would just, I think they would just raise more questions than answers. This. I mean, I could just replace the head with Suzanne. That could be kind of funny. I'm an actual child, I swear. Like, what is this? Anyway. Oh yeah, I can't really look from the side, because if I do, it's just gonna get blocked off by something. Like, if I look from the side, I can vaguely see what I'm doing here. So if I rotate this along the local X. rotate that just a little bit more. So it's just sitting on top of the head. Or maybe like having it sitting in the tree nearby. Maybe having it sitting in the tree would be a good idea. Yes. If I rotate this in the X just so it is a bit more even when I place it in the leaves. Okay. Maybe I could have the objects in this area maybe stack on top of each other. You know, it's quite comical. This is actually 2 meters. But I'm pretty sure like the various things around here are maybe slightly shorter than. Wait, I should actually check this. Apologies, chat. There was just something I had to check in with my grandmother. Alright, so... is this 2 meters? Oh, it didn't even occur to me until now to actually check, but I'm... actually, now that I look at it, it very well might be 2 meters. I did not want to hide it. Okay, yeah, that is 2 meters. I don't know why I just assumed it wasn't. It doesn't look like 2 meters. Actually, just snap that back to increment. Like, you think about the implications of this. Like, it's bad enough that, like, say this is here, right? Which is triangles. But then you have this, which is just... looks circular. That looks circular. That's just straight up a curve. What I could do is have this stacked on top of this. But then just like altered at a slight angle. I wonder if it'd be worth doing physics on this. If it would be worth making my computer cry at this, like in the middle of string no less. Right, of course. Okay, I don't think that's clipping too much. Scale 0.5. Okay, there's clipping slightly through the floor. Maybe if I snap to face. Yeah. And then there we go. Alright, doesn't look too bad. And I may have a cylinder scaled all the way down. Wonder if it'd be worth having this leaning on something else. Possibly. Like, I really just want to keep this to the basic shapes. Is my idea. I have a plane, but just have it, like, rotated and leaned against the cylinder, perhaps. Scale shift Z twice. Alright, so if I do this, there we go. I do think I want to adjust the angle now that I've got those in the scene. If I grab this. Maybe just pull that in a bit closer. And then grab my character. Oh, whoops. I just wanted to select the hierarchy for this. Why are you... Oh, these are all inside the... Of course they are. That's on me for not even bothering to check. Collections, scene, props. Okay, now let's try that again. Hopefully this time without moving everything. So, if I grab this now. Where do I want to position this? Because, like, there's a lot going on in this scene. Maybe right about here? It seems like it's super far away. If I adjust the angle so the house isn't actually the focal point. But then like there's a leading line problem because the Sife's here and the house are basically the same color. So I want something that makes her stand out just a smidge more. That could be a problem. Like, that could be a huge problem, actually. I only just realized that this could be an issue. But if I try and do anywhere else, it could just... Like, the background itself looks vacant, almost. Okay, there's like another area that I could work with, though. Right, chat? So, nearby to this area, there's actually a village that I could inundate with objects. The problem is, it might run into the same issue with this house. Where, obviously, like, the hair and whatnot could just look really strange. Because, like, if I put the character here... I need to boost the lighting on this somehow, because, like, it looks ridiculously dark. Like, even that's too much. Maybe that. I have no idea why the sun is acting like this. Because if you put it at 1, it just feels too dim, but the second you increase it, it just is way too bright. Maybe I need to change up the exposure. And exposure. Probably like 0.7 for now. It's like, if you look at this now, hopefully there's not so much of a leading line. The only issue is like, although that can be fixed. So the other issue I'm having is like, obviously the outfit that the Minecraft character is wearing is blending into the background, but what I can do is I can actually just turn that off. Like, those aren't necessarily essential to the character itself. The only problem I have here though, right, is the fact that like, my feet are bare now. Like, huh? Like, I suppose I could just leave that on, but that just looks strange. So the other option is to go into the texture paint, or even just UV editing at this point. And where is it? Go to the legs maybe? And then edit mode. Here we go. So legs layer 2. So if I grab these, what if I just delete them? What if I just delete all the ones that have faces in them? Like, that shouldn't be too difficult. So if I delete all of those, actually I can't delete them, darn. Alright, texture painting it is, I guess. So if I grab this, but then there's no ability to draw in transparent, is there? Is there an option to unpaint something? No, there is not. It just erase alpha? Ah, here we go. Now make this radius 2 pixels. Hopefully make my life just a bit faster. Can't believe I have to make specific edits to this just so my character's feet aren't entirely just there. Actually, I can't believe it. That does seem like the sort of thing I'd need to do. Okay, so if I remove this, and go back to the layout workspace, yeah, okay, so now I need to set this as, oh, they both on faceless. These are becoming like more and more detailed the more times I have to edit the specific skin. Like, it just becomes more and more detailed every time, which is infinitely amusing to me. Okay, so I need to figure out this issue with the sun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a secondary sun into the action. And I'm going to have it contrast in the other direction. but have it be at... Actually, come to think of it, I need to check something, right? And this is probably the most ridiculously specific piece of information that I've ever retained. But the angle of the sun, I think, is off. And the only reason I think that is because the diameter of the sun as seen from Earth is, I believe, a bit wider in angle. I think it's like 32 degrees or something like that. Angular diameter. Time to go to Wikipedia, I guess. Let's see. Sun as seen from the Earth is 31.27 to 32.32 degrees. So, yeah, that's off by a pretty reasonable margin. I'll do 31... Actually, it'll be closer... Yeah, probably be 31.7 given the time of day. And that does provide a little bit better of a lighting situation, I think. Because if I control Z, like, you can see the shadows soften just a smidge. And that's really just what I want. The only issue is that there's like no lighting from the side either. Like, it's just the one sun, and while it is technically realistic, it doesn't look as good as I would like it to. Okay, just double checking to make sure that my earlier escapade into Minecraft didn't just break everything. Actually, something else I could do is I could have my Minecraft character sitting on top of one of those. But then, like, I'd need a completely different angle for that, I think. Probably even, like... Just zoom into that. Like, if I was going to do that, it'd have to be a really close cut angle. Probably even do that. Well, I can give it a try. A-Alt-G-R. And I just did Alt-S even though it's not really necessary. Select objects. Okay, if I Alt-R, it breaks the legs for some reason. I don't know how it does that, but apparently it does. Okay. Honestly, I think maybe that does look a bit better. I'd need to change the camera angle again to make it so there's not so many leading lines. But yeah, that looks alright. Okay, I can mess with that. Alright, let's do posing. Okay, let's do Shift X twice to do that. Bend the character's body just a bit. I want to rotate that in the X a couple times. Maybe actually even rotate that backwards. Rotate that. Rotate that again. Just like have the character really just leaning. Okay, that works. Maybe even... but then that causes Z fighting. Don't like that. Now, I'll grab that in the X. Just have both arms back. And back in the X again. Have maybe the head tilt a little bit to the side. Yeah, that works. And because the hands aren't open, I don't have to edit that stupid bug. And for anyone who doesn't know what aforementioned stupid bug is, it's... Wait, I was seriously in that mode the entire time? Really? Anyway, the stupid bug in question is these hands, for whatever reason, it picks the texture from further up on the arm and puts them on the underside of the hands. So it just constantly makes it look like my character's hands are just bleeding. But it's really weird, like it picks from somewhere around here or even up on the shoulder. I don't know why it does it. I really don't. It confuses me every time it happens. So if I do that. Okay, I need to make it so it's not actually clipping into the cylinder. Like, it's fine to lean against it, but not actually clip into it. Okay, just move that out again. There we go. Sure it's not clipping too much. Now I do maybe want to move... Do I want to move the camera for this? Let me zoom that in slightly. Okay, that looks alright. So now, I think the main thing I need to do now, do I want to... Yeah, I think I do basic shading on these objects just to make them look a bit more organic. Okay, why is this thing so obsessed with this stupid sun? Oh, there's a global illumination setting on here. Maybe I should have been using that this entire time. Let's see. MC Sun Moon Control. Where is that setting? Oh, it's under the Sun Moon Control under the World tab. Okay, there we go. Why is that a thing? Like, it took me so long to figure out that was even a setting. Why is that a thing? Okay, time to switch this back to 0 then. Honestly, like, outside of streams, whenever I do something like this, I usually just use the regular sun and then use, like, edit the sky so that I can use realistic settings. Because, my god, these sun settings are just not it, chief. Let's set that to maybe 0.7. I do want the sun to be a slightly different color, maybe. Okay, maybe just... Yeah, add that slightly to a more golden color. Yeah, I know. I literally saw the phone activate right before it started its alarm. So my hand was already on it. That is no reason to play boss music. Just because I prevented my phone from going on for too long does not mean that I deserve the boss music. Alright, let's... What should I do for this? Maybe... Yeah, like a magenta color? I'm gonna pull this and... I'm gonna pull the shader editor into here. At least I can actually see what I'm doing. And set the roughness up. Do I want metallic? Okay, that's strange. And then it just doesn't do it anymore. Why are you like this, Blender? Honestly, having a metallic hue would be kind of interesting. I'm gonna do something else with that though. Let's give this a gold material. Okay, and so like that. Metallic all the way up, roughness a bit down. I'd say probably even 0.2. And what else should we give this? I don't really need to put a blue on here. If I put green, it's just going to merge in with the background. Maybe. But if I do that, then it just turns into the same color as the ring. Although having it slightly reflective is probably fine. 0.7. This music is crazy. It really is. I think this is, what is this? It's Planet something. Planet Hell. Like, they really did not have to go this hard on this particular album, but they did. Like, they went stupid hard on this. I suppose this is technically an orange. Alright, do I wanna... I think I'd do a yellow here. And maybe a red for the back one. I believe probably 0.6. And do red for this one. Name this yellow. I'm sorry, I can't hear the word yellow without that one. I don't know if anyone knows about this, but that one, I think it's like a kid's nursery rhyme with the dancing eggs. If anyone's ever seen that, anyone who hasn't probably thinks I'm utterly deranged for those words to even come out of my mouth in the first place. Yeah, Foxy's just laughing his ass off at me because I mentioned the dancing eggs. Not the dancing eggs. Yes, the dancing eggs. Whenever I hear the word yellow now, that's the first thing I think of. And I hate it so much. However, I can actually hit all the keys. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's just that one specific video, and I just immediately think of it now whenever I hear the word yellow. Like, you'd really have to look to see that. What's this goofy beat? Oh, whatever it is, it's gone now. I'll just set it to 0.5 roughness. Because, like, you sort of have to really look in order to see it, but it doesn't merge into the background. I think the pose's alright. I might just move these so they're just slightly away from the body. Just like very slightly. I sent a GIF in DMs, okay. What did you send me? Of course you would send me the goddamn dancing egg as a gift. Foxy, I hate you. Why are you like this? And unfortunately, my brain comes up with the super loud version of that clip too whenever I see that. Why is my... I just realized, right, like, my character in this image is so pale. Like, please, some vitamin D would be great. Also, I just remembered, and this, I've had that favorited for several years. Why did you have that favorited in the first place, let alone for several years? Foxy, please get some help. I used to send it to my friend. And what kind of conversations are you having where that particular GIF is a requirement? No, I want a genuine explanation. Explain yourself, Foxy. At what point does somebody need that specific GIF as a reaction or for any other reason for that matter? Okay. Because it would make her laugh and also because she hated it. Yeah, I can understand why. I just remembered that I need to edit the head because, like, if you look here, like, you can very barely see the character's eyes underneath there, and that is not what this particular character's eyes look like. So I need to fix that. The fact that it looks like that from the get-go is very concerning. So what I need to do is I actually need to scale these. Actually, I think I can just scale one of them, right? Yeah. I need to scale it in such a way that it doesn't go on the y-axis. I promise this is actually important. So if I go into the shading workspace now, I actually need to disconnect both of these. Oh god, she's staring into my soul with her lifeless eyes. Yeah. It's about to get worse. Now I need to... It's under texture, right? Check a texture. Here we go. And I need to remove the thing and bring in a principal base. Principal BSDF. Chuck that into surface. Chuck that into the gloss. There we go. I believe the scale for this is 1? No, it is not. Are you okay, Foxy? Like, I recognize that this particular character's eyes, like, for, like, in terms of purposes of lore, is very concerning, but still, like, it shouldn't be that alarming. I need to apply scale. No, I don't, actually. I just remembered that that's a thing. Okay, there we go. I don't know why, but if you do it in edit mode, it just doesn't work correctly. And also, for some reason, the eyes are just slightly off-centered. There we go. So now we need to set this to a deep magenta color. I think the actual value is 0.85. And then the secondary color has to be black. There you go. And now if I put the blindfold back on, even though it doesn't really seem to do much for a start, head alpha back on. But yeah, you can very barely see the coloring from underneath that. And unfortunately, MC Prep doesn't come with textures pre-equipped for this sort of job, but that's whatever. I think I'm just about done here. Done the background, done the general objects. I think like the only thing I really need to do, and this is really just probably even a more minor nitpick than anything else, is just lighting some of these objects in the background. Your character is making me think of my character. Which one? You have multiple, Foxy. That does not narrow it down slightly, like, whatsoever. So I've got one light there. One light back there. Those cauldrons in the back are technically full of lava, like you can barely see them. With the sensor bar? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, do I need a lore dump about this character? Because I can. Just from the get-go, I can do that. Yeah, I just need to light those in the background. That's fine, I guess. Now, the real question is, do I do the thing where I use realistic lighting values for this? I think the answer here is yes, but I'm going to save an incremental first. Okay, time for the actual boss fight. Which means I have to go into this. Anyone's curious, this is what the lighting setup looks like. For the sky specifically, this is what the lighting setup looks like. I need to edit that. So whenever I put the strength up for this, and whenever I change the settings and color management, like the exposure and all that, it doesn't just completely wash out. Now, I do believe I've done this before. So, generate stars is not important, horizon mapping is not important. I believe the most important factor here is... Okay, so that's... Okay. Just a polite request, like the next time you look at this duck cow, can you please change this so it's not yellow? Because you can't read this. Like, you can read this here, like you can read all the rest of this, but you cannot make out the text on this. What even is this? Sun and moon texture. It's really hard to see. I believe the correct one is this by DC. Actually, I'm gonna pull that in. I'm going to remove that. Okay, that was not the correct thing. That was just the global illumination setting. Mayhaps. Wait, you really want lore for this particular character? Like, specifically about the eyes, I assume, right? So if I remove that... Okay, yeah, it's just entirely grey. So the strength from this is entirely dependent on this specific one here. So I can increase this and then decrease the exposure. And that does technically get me where I want to be, but I'd rather not be here at the moment. Okay, let's go up a bit, if it will let me. Up. There we go. Here's the thing, right? I would have preferred if this had a custom strength setting, so I didn't have to go all the way down into the weeds in order to edit it. That is my only complaint. Well, my only major complaint. I would have preferred to have seen a strength setting further up. Okay, so like, the context as to why my character is like that is because at the end of CSMP, when Scythe sets off the antimatter detonation device, she's caught in the crossfire, and while she's running away, at least in this particular version, she trips and falls into a ravine with a bunch of dripstone spikes in the bottom. Thus, when she eventually respawns after this incident, she doesn't respawn with any eyes. So, not only does this character just straight up not have eyes, she has no eyes in a way that if something enters the eye socket, it can actually come directly out of the eye socket on the other side or the same side depending. So, there was like a concept thing that I did, right, where the way I demonstrated this was with an arrow. So, I'll just quickly remove this for a second. So, if an arrow is shot, like if an arrow shoots her in the face and it goes through one of the eye sockets, it actually comes out the other one at the same speed. So, actively attacking this character, like trying to go for headshots, is actively detrimental to any attempt to kill her. Because unless you're aiming like between the eyes, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're just going to probably hit yourself more than anything else. Like, that's the thing. Like, technically, this character can still see, but for anyone who's ever seen the Critical SMP series, without the blindfold, she can't see anything beyond, like, the pink and black texture. Like, you can make out shapes, but you can't make out specific objects. And that's, based on the fact that I've had to deal, not with that specifically, but not being able to see things beyond general shapes for quite some time. Like, very specific. So if I get the sun strength to 1,000, just absolutely flashbang the entire world, that's fine. Now, I believe the exposure for 1,000 is -6. Okay, so probably even needs to be a bit lower than that. Negative 6.5? I just need to edit this down until the lighting is somewhat reasonable. Okay, it's negative 7.5. And now I need to increase the background strength to compensate for this. So I believe it's 50 here, maybe, even slightly more than. The only real issue now, and like this is pretty realistic of like real life lighting, is the fact there's no lights coming from inside the house. And that's pretty true for any situation like that. Like, you don't see lights from inside the house unless there's lights going. Also, I think 75 should be fine here. And the sun's angular diameter is correct. I think like, if I put this into cycles, it's fine. It's just, again, I'm not used to Eevee because they've changed the entire system. Like, I don't know why they've done what they've done here. Okay, screen trace. Okay, I'm not even going to bother with these settings. I'm just going to keep it on the Eevee for the sake of moving around quickly. But when I'm done, I'm going to change into cycles. Because that looks fine, right, chat? To be fair, it's probably still a bit bright. But certainly not anywhere where it could be. Okay, set that to 70. Change the color management. Actually, no. Negative 7.5 is fine. One way you can check this is to look at false color. So, false color is a temperature slider, basically. So, darker colors are a blue color, and then the closer you get to pure blinding white, it turns red and then white. So if I move this, you see how it turns orange and then it slowly goes into the reds, and once it gets too bright, it just turns white because there's no information there. So if I were to do this where it keeps some yellows and oranges, it's probably roughly around about here. Negative 6.5. So it's just starting to get into the oranges. And if, of course, if I go back to, I believe I was using AGX for this. No, I was using standard. Yeah, so you see how vivid and bright that is. So what I realistically should be doing now is, and here's something that I have learned, is that there's no such thing as like a pure color. So this is entirely inaccurate. So I need to bring the saturation... Actually, no, not the saturation. I need to bring the... Yeah, actually, yes, saturation. So I want to bring the saturation down to somewhere that isn't there. So probably, like, maybe 0.9. And that needs to be the same for all of these. It's just... bring them all down to a saturation where it just looks more reasonable. So that's correct. And I'm actually going to push this saturation on the magenta up a bit. There we go. Now if I put this on, it just looks like regular objects in a scene. Do I think that's fine though? Like, that's pretty bright now that I think about it. There would be some clouds in the scene as well, that's the thing. Actually, where are the clouds in this scene? Because now that I think about it, there's just no clouds in this scene whatsoever. It's like, it's overhead. Also, this vaguely sounds like Minecraft music. What is this? Deep Lands. Yeah, that sounds about right. Where is this compared to the rest of the thing. So like, I don't know why the clouds are so far away from the actual scene itself. Like, if I go here, like, those are super far away. I need to... I know they're animated, that much I do know. There's the shader for the clouds. I need to probably grab them and bring them across. I did not want that though. I want to grab this. Not in the Y. Do I have the ability to do this from here? Okay, here we go. And set that to 10,000. My computer's probably going to be upset for a minute, but that's fine. There we go. I now have clouds in the scene. So, just time to find a position that looks good. Now I can set this back to 1,000 without any consequences. And... because there's like a lot of clouds here, right? That looks super dynamic too. Probably worthwhile maybe even dimming the sun just a bit. I'd probably say 950. Now if I put this back, oh, it is still in cycles. Okay, I think maybe it would be worthwhile putting that exposure back down. So it's just not as high. Negative 7.5. I just realized that Suzanne head may very well just look a bit strange. And it's only because the colouring on it's probably super saturated. Oh, it's not, shockingly. Okay, there we go. Cool, I think that is as good as I'm going to get this particular piece. It didn't really turn out the way that the sketch was initially done, but I think this looks fine. So, let me just quickly check these. So, 2048. I'm going to give this a 20-second time limit. That'll give me enough time to just start chugging water. And for this, I'm just going to quickly turn on denoise and put this, I believe this is 512? There we go. Save incremental and hit the good old F12 button. Actually, now that I think about it, there is one more thing I could add to the scene which may help it out a bit. But this is such a super specific setting that it very well may not even matter. But I'm going to chuck it in anyway. So there is a thing in compositing. And I'm not fond of using compositing, but that's whatever. So there is a fog setting. Actually, it's not called fog, it's called mist. It's called mist pass. So if I grab this. And I'm gonna do this in Eevee so my computer doesn't keep screaming at me. If I go in here, I can actually use the mist data specifically. Like I can see the mist data. So I'll put in combined for now, and I'll put it in mist here. So the black in the foreground here, it's very hard to see, is where it's clear, and then it dulls into a grey in the back. At least I believe that's how this works. So I want to set this to probably like 120 meters. We'll start misting out the house in the back while still leaving the foreground. Also, it didn't even occur to me that the house was 120 meters away. That's wild. So if I now set this back to combined, it's not going to do anything for the second, but it is important for me to do this. So now if I render this, this is going to have the... When did my character's mouth move? Oh, it's because it's an Eevee and not Cycles. Like, somehow my character's mouth moved? I don't remember doing that. Because normally, like, my character's mouth is closed. I look at it here, there's just nothing. There's no gap there or anything. And it's not even open here either, really. Oh, it is slightly. Cool. So if I render this out now, that's going to start rendering. Now all I have to do is just throw in the mist passed on compositing, which should hopefully make it look halfway decent. While I'm here, I do actually have something to talk about, chat. Just, it's a very minor nitpick, and I've only noticed it recently. So, like, whenever it's the afternoon, I don't know how this keeps happening, but roughly around the same time every day, it's like about, I'd like to say 1:30ish, somebody blasts the outro to Taku Poye at full volume. Like the last 30 seconds, and I couldn't tell you why that's a thing. Okay, so if I grab this, move this around a bit. Now, I do believe that... So if I render layers? No. There's like another one of these things that I can put in. Output. Viewer. Here we go. Now I do need to put in a scale as well, because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to see it. Is it Y for split? No. I forget how to split these noodles, but that's fine. I can just... There we go. Now I believe in order to do this, I need to use a mix node. So if I add in... Actually shift A. Mix. I believe it's a mix anyway. So if I mix the image and the mist. Okay, so the factor is there. Now the only problem with this is the fact that it takes out the entirety of the background. But that can be remedied with color ramp. I believe. So color ramp. I believe it's in this that this does it. And then I need to add another key here. So you see how it fogs up that section there? So it fogs here and then it actually allows for the background to be visible. So I'm going to set this to be black entirely. And then like that. In fact, I'd even push that as far as I can. So it has like this mist in the background. And what I can do is I can actually, I believe, change this to like a blue color maybe? Possibly not. Okay. I need to set this back to 0. Now how do I... So there's like a name for this specific phenomena. I believe it's aerial perspective. Perspective. Let's see. Aerial perspective or atmospheric perspective refers to the effect the atmosphere has on the appearance of an object as viewed from a distance. So like how you look at an object from a distance and it's like a vaguely bluish tint in colour is basically what I'm trying to emulate here. So I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. Maybe like this. But then that just turns it into maybe a hue set. No. There's gotta be some better way to do this. Darken? Or is it... Oh, interesting, I can lighten it. Oh, it's supposed to be overlay, I'm dumb. What's really interesting is that because of the way this works, these trees in the background are quite bright as well. Like, I really don't want them to be. But if I don't do this right, like if I switch around this way, like it just disappears into the ether. So I'm just going to remove that one for the second, just so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, that's not horrifying whatsoever. Actually, that kind of looks like, you know those old computer-generated graphics from, like, the 90s and that? Vaguely looks like that. That is an interesting way to go about things. Alright, let's just keep faffing about with settings until it works. Okay, that's just a creepypasta thing waiting to happen. Okay, so none of these seem to work. Actually, it might be... Okay, so saturation does work vaguely. It really shouldn't be that intense, I don't believe. Like, saturation works in theory, but it's like way too... Actually, maybe if I bring that down a bit. So like the idea is that it just desaturates slightly in the background. then add a little something there. It doesn't, like, it's not a huge effect, but it does help slightly. And it's not nearly as noticeable on these ones in the back. Alright, I think that works. Now if I render this again, I should be just about done. So that's going to render, it's going to take a few seconds, and then it's going to add the compositing over it. And you wouldn't think it adds a lot to the scene, but it does help a bit, I find. So it's going to finish rendering. And yeah, it just pales that back just a bit. Okay, I'm going to save this. Now, this is in D drive, I believe. Possibly. Actually, no, I'm going to save this into a separate folder. So if we go up from here. And I'm just going to make a new folder for this. And there we go, done. So now we officially have a thumbnail for YouTube's side, which I should hopefully be able to... Under the mask? Foxy? No. Do I need to get the newspaper? I can promise you that shit will hurt. Foxy, cease! I will not hesitate. Anyway, I'm going to save that and just close it down. Now, I do actually have another... Wait, what? What do you mean, the music? What do you mean, Foxy? Oh, like the song's name is Under the Mask. I thought it was something I said, but no, apparently not. Foxy's just brain rotted to hell and back. Yeah, I've got that information now, thanks. But no, it turns out Foxy's just brain rotted. It's fine, false alarm chat. Now, I do have a secondary file that I was curious about whether I was going to get to it today or not. So I did a little bit of work off stream. It's not a huge amount. But I have... Allow execution. Okay. So I have made this little thing here. An actual bouncing ball rig. So if I use this, it does exactly what I wanted to do yesterday. And I can even like spin this around and it spins like I wanted it to. Me, brain rotted? Nah. Foxy, you're probably the second most brain rotted human being I have ever met. What do you mean, nah? No, I want an explanation. What do you mean you're not brain rotted? You have the yellow egg gif on demand in case you want to send it to somebody. Don't you dare tell me you're not brain rotted. You mean, what do you mean? At least I don't talk about Riz and say Skibbity. Skibbity, no. Riz, on the other hand, I think you'll find you need to sit down before you embarrass yourself even more. Stop that. Okay, so this particular project came with a challenge, right? So there's a whole bunch of ball rigs in the background here. if I hide this for a second. So there's like a whole bunch of these. Where are they? Are they no, they're not inverted on screen. Why are they not working as intended? Not to mention Sigma. Yeah, that clown emoji is very befitting of you, isn't it? Like, very befitting. So anyway, the point is that there's a bunch of these here. And essentially what they are is just different balls that are... Oh, that's the ball rig. I'm dumb. I was actually thinking about these things. But apparently they still don't want to show up. I guess it was when I put this through geometry nodes? Anyway. So the entire point is, right, is the challenge is to make another one of these balls. So just the only brain rot I have is very old vines. No the fuck it ain't, Foxy. It really isn't. Like, you like to think that it is, but it truly is not. So, there's like a whole bunch of these, like tennis ball, soccer ball, what have you. But the idea is that I put a texture in myself. Okay, I'm not going to search this up on my regular internet tab because I have the feeling if I search up balls, I'm going to end up with some very different results than what I was intending. So let's just not do that. Lamount, yeah. Like, I feel like Google would give me a very different result than what I was intending. Yeah, so I think maybe if I was going to put out a ball of some variety, maybe a beach ball? Or something along those lines? Like something thereabouts. The only problem is that if I... Actually, can I just duplicate this from here? I don't know that I can. I've done something. Okay, so apparently if I unlink that, it breaks everything. Good to know, good to know. So I'm gonna copy this and put it in the main collection. And it gets real upsetty sweaty about that. So is this texture or is this generated? Surely not. How does it have the... Okay, I'm just gonna put all these away for now. So how does this work? Because like, I'm looking at this, there's no obvious texture. Well, it's not anything I can... What is that GIF, Foxy? Like, what is that emote? Why are you stuck? Yeah, because if I look at this, there is nothing... Oh wait, this is... Oh, this is like actually individually modeled. Spin? I mean, fair enough. Oh, so this is like actually modeled. Why is it built like this? Okay, this is not a good one to start with. Because I don't want to do the extra geometry. Oh, now it decides to do what I want it to. Is it because I'm in UV editing? I go into layer... Yep. So if I pick... Probably plain ball. Paste that there. Layout. And just make those vanish for now. So if I go into shading, yeah, it just has this. So my idea is maybe like a beach ball of some variety. I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of texture painting it. Like, how would one even make a beach ball from just like what I've got here? Like, maybe I do have wave textures, actually. Not quite what I want. Because if I put them in the X and Y, they just coalesce onto the end. When really I just want to spin it around the middle. Like, does that make sense, chat? Like, if you look at an average beach ball, it's just individual stripes going down the body instead of across. I suppose, but if I rotate it, like if I rotate the texture, it's just going to do the same thing as the X and Y modes, I think. So I don't believe that's going to do me any good. What other options do I have? I have gradients, but that's not going to help me. Brick texture? I mean, a brick ball would be kind of funny. It feels like that whole joke of filling a ball with cement and watching somebody kick it only for them to break their foot. I'm sorry, what the fuck is the name of that song? I do not know. What was the name of the song? Oh. Yeah, that's probably from one of, like, the, Dark Skies and Other Disasters or something along those lines. Yeah, there's a lot of action-themed music in this. So there's, like, obviously that. There's things like Blood on Snow, Dance of Death, all that sort of fun stuff. So, yeah, the music names for this can get a little bit wild. I could have changed them. Who are we kidnapping? We're not kidnapping anyone, Foxy. Calm down. Remind me to never have you around the other chatters. It would have to be Wave then, right? It can't be Voronoi. So I mean, like, there's the dot density here. Foxy, like, no. Please, just keep your hands to yourself. The fact that I have to say this to somebody who's only a couple of years younger than me is quite embarrassing. Rings, maybe? I'll just keep messing around with this until it works. And, like, it almost works and then it just doesn't. There's saw and then there's triangle. What if I use bands? Like, it doesn't really... What do you mean I ain't touching it? You would. You absolutely would kidnap somebody. Like, I know you well enough to know that's something you absolutely would do. Maybe I can just... Would modeling a beach ball texture even be worth at this point? That'd be considered a bad touch, I ain't that guy. Yeah, I suppose not, but at the same time, like, it only takes one bad day for you to snap. I'm gonna call it like I said, all it would take is one bad day. Actually, I wonder if I should... Maybe instead of doing a beach ball, maybe I can do like a volcanic rock or something. Well, mayhaps. Yeah. Like, I'm of the opinion that one of these days I will go missing and it will be your fault. One of these days. And let's see. There is a... Probably... No, not normal. Probably displacement for this one? And then position into normal. But like, I really want to ramp this. And then pull this down. Except it doesn't want to do what I want it to. Oh, that does a thing. What the hell is that doing? It wasn't me, officer, I swear. I hit that guy. You absolutely are. Like, there is multiple people, I'm convinced, that, like, I'm one bad punt away from them just straight up making me disappear. There is, like, multiple people, and you are on that list, Foxy, I'll be honest. Okay, like, if I pull that down, it just doesn't really do anything. I feel like I'm missing something here. Maybe it's the distance and not the position. It is not. Oh, actually, it might be because I have this put into normal instead of displace. Yeah, that makes more sense. I can have like a moon rock going on. I remember when you threatened to punt me like a football. I'll be honest, Foxy, I make that threat to people like every other day. So... like, you are not the first person that I've threatened that to, and you absolutely will not be the last person I threaten with that. Like, not by a long shot. Probably even that much, and then just bring that down a bit. I vaguely want to make it look like a moon. And, yes, hello and goodbye. Don't you just love it when people come in and advertise they're very clearly fake viewers? Like, get out of my domain, boy. You aren't welcome here. So if I... Oh, I probably need to plug this into height, right? And that does a thing. I don't think it's a good thing. Alright, let's try that without breaking everything, yeah? Let's set the distance to 1. Yeah, unfortunately it just immediately turns it off, so maybe I want to have that strength just turned down a bit. Actually, you know what I can do, now that I think about it? That was the quickest ban I ever seen. I mean, I literally just saw it pop up and instantly get banned like it was a bot banning it. Listen, Foxy, you don't get to be a moderator for as many years as me without seeing, like, some improvement in your speed. Like, that thing just got shot into orbit the second I saw it. What I can do is I can actually probably even do a disco ball. Where is my cheek texture? Because what I really need to do is I need to make that quite small. Oh, what the hell is this? Actually, I know what to do here. What I need to do is I need to, wait, it's Control T? There we go. So I want to map this to probably UVs. No? Object? Like, I don't really want this circular pattern showing up. And if I set it to normal, it's like, it just all does the exact same thing. I set this to texture. How would one go about making a disco ball texture? I wonder if I make this into a specific unwrap. Okay, and then you, Maxime. You unwrap. Now if I go to UV editing, I actually want to make this vaguely even, if that makes sense. Straighten. Not that straight. And other things I've said in my life. Okay, it really doesn't like when I do that. Maybe I need to have a secondary split? Okay, mark seam on that and unwrap it. And then that just does more stuff that I don't want it to. Alright, how many times do I have to do this? Unwrap, that just makes a fan shape. And quite frankly, the tops and bottoms should actually be quadded. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to clear all the seams. What I want to do is I want to delete these. Did someone say disco? Yes. It was me. I said disco. Let's grid fill this in. And grid fill this other one in. And then you'd unwrap. Of course you'd be a fan of disco, Foxy. I guess there's probably some poles on this thing, huh? And just grab that. Mark seams. And unwrap. That's probably about as good as I'm going to get it. Let's go back to the shading workspace and hook this up to UV, see if it works. Okay, it works vaguely better. So if I scale this down now. The only issue is that it tilts in towards there, and that's not really what I want. Maybe instead of splitting down the middle here, like around the back, maybe I split in the middle of the actual sphere itself. Clear seam. I'm sorry, but am I the only one that believes that emo isn't a boogie? Yeah, I'm looking at that emote and I can completely see what you're talking about there, Foxy. I'm surprised that Twitch let that in. Mark seam on that. And unwrap. Okay, I think I can work with this. Yeah, no, I completely see it, Foxy, and I kind of wish that I couldn't. So if I do object now, and scale that back in. If I UV... Yeah, because it just does that now. Like, I don't want it to get small towards the end, I just want it to be consistent the whole way around. But for some reason, I'm just not quite getting it. It's really odd. Alright, let's just give a little bit more editing here. Oh, actually, you know what, chat? I am truly one of the dumbest people to live. There is an easy way to do the whole beach ball thing. I really just, on God, was not paying attention. Like, I can do that at least. So, just tear that back out. And just going to, yeah, grab those. Now, the fun thing I can do is I can assign that. Okay, and just do them the conventional way. Now, if I grab these, grab that one, grab that one. And if I set this to that, I now have a beach ball. Probably needs to be like slightly smaller to be fair. I can actually change this up slightly. I cannot believe it took me this long to realize that yes, I absolutely could have done a beach ball. Beach ball, yeah. So I'm actually just going to quickly revert this. Don't worry, I can get back to where I need to be. So if I go into the ball util, copy this, paste it into the vineboom.sfx. .sfx? There is no dot there. Yeah, I was hella overthinking it, chat, I'll be honest. So I need to... How many of these are there? I can actually check with the statistics. So there's 32 faces. It would have been much more preferred if it was 33. But let's try our best anyway with this. Okay, just grab those ones. That one, that one. Possibly this one, like these two, and then these two. I just want them to be relatively even. Grab that all the way down here. Now I do believe if I hit plus once, I should be able to get this to look the way that I want it to. So I hit Control plus, that's going to increase the size. Just count between these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there was no way I was going to be able to get this perfectly even, but this is about as close as I'm going to get. So get this, assign this. Now, what I want to do is I basically want to invert this. So, grab this, invert this, and go back to here and assign that. So now we actually do have a beach ball, chat. We finally have an edited ball. And I'm just going to make a plain color. Let's make it orange. I quite like me some orange. There we go, we have a beach ball. Oh, I actually want to make this roughness go down a bit. Because obviously, like, beach balls aren't matte, they're quite shiny. Go 0.35 for this one. And white beach ball. 0.35. So now we should have a vaguely shiny ball. On that. Now, why is this still blue? Damn it, Blender. Why is this blue and white and not the orange and white that I specifically asked for? Why are you like this? It literally even shows there's orange in here. Where did I just suddenly become colorblind? Did I suddenly become colorblind in the time it takes for me to switch tabs? Like, brother. At least, like, pretend that you're not gonna... Huh? I'm sorry, if I switch between these two... Oh, actually, you know what it is? I know exactly what this is. So there is a way that you can see colors in, like, in the general, what's it called? The viewport shading for solid mode. Okay, here we go. So in solid mode, you can, change the color that you can view here, like in the viewport display. So yes, this is actually just straight up this color. So the quickest way to fix that is just to Control-C this and then Control-V into here. And now we have an orange beach ball. Finally. Okay, so we want to have this be consistent, so we want this to be ball 9 beach ball. So ball 9 beach ball. There you go. So now what I want to do is I want to chuck this in the util. And I do believe that I need to change which thing. I believe I need to change it in rigging, perhaps? There is a custom property here that I need to change, wherever it may be. Not that one. Not that one either. So where is... So that's like a UI thing, right? So I need to find out where the numbering system is. That would be if body. Now, why would this be... One of these is in deformed body. That is bizarre. Anyway. Really using all my brain power here, chat. I'm sorry. Actually, you know what it is? It's probably in pose mode. I believe there was something I attached to the body. It might even be in the physical ball geometry under here. Yeah, here we go. So there's an instance here. Edit driver. Ball type -1. So pose.bones root. Pose in the root. Now there should be, yeah, ball type. So if I set this to 9 now, and hit OK, now that I do this, just hide all these. Okay, there we go. I now have successfully added my own ball type in here. I have won, chat. I have finally managed to do something for myself. I have managed to add a singular ball. I should not feel as proud of myself as I do for doing this, but here we are. We've got a stretchy, springy ball. And now with this rig, I can even rotate it. Because I did have that problem yesterday. Nice. Anyway, with that, I think I'm going to head off now because it is heading towards 5 o'clock and I do probably need to make dinner. So I'll end the stream. But hey, at least I got a thumbnail done. I also managed to get a ball all rigged up and ready to go. I can submit that to the people who sent me that challenge and hopefully they'll be happy with it. I don't believe there's anyone that I can raid at the moment, right? No, it does not appear so. Anyway, chat, I shall see you in the next stream.